What's going on, awesome people? Happy Wednesday. It's February 15th, and it's another episode of Countdown to Freedom in Iran. If you're joining us for the first time, Countdown is the only English or the only weekly English speaking live stream series that's dedicated to what's happening in Iran while uniting the diaspora via conversations about mental health, wellness, poetry, and some personal development, a little bit of everything to both educate us, to hopefully inform us and unite us and make us a stronger community week by week. We'd love to do more episodes, but these things take a lot of time and effort. And I'm so grateful for all the uniters that help us make these programs happen. I know it just looks like an IG live to you, but there's so much more that goes to it. So thank you to all the uniter producers and to all of you for joining. Wherever you're coming from, please message it in the chat. I always like to see who's checking in from where. But regardless, appreciate you joining. We have a great program. We got Paris Mansouri is going to be talking about the latest from Iran. That's going to be starting in just a couple of minutes. And then Sareh Kazemi is one of our uniters who's going to be sharing some local news events and also just in general what the role of a uniter is in case you'd like to join us and make us even stronger and more united. And then we have Dr. Som, the stress doc, who's going to be talking about TextNet. If you don't know about TextNet, he's going to drop some knowledge on you. And then our special guest tonight is Azadeh Afsahi. So excited to have her. She's been an incredible force in this entire revolution, dedicating and devoting her entire platform to bringing awareness to Iranians, providing so much support as a psychotherapist. And she's been spearheading the entire hashtag Free Too Much movement. We'll get to her later on tonight. So stick around. It's going to be a great program. Sit back, grab some popcorn, and let's get started. We're going to start the program with Paris Mansouri. She's going to be joining Montreal representation. We got Hallelujah from Kansas City. I like the fact that we got Kansas City representing. All right, straight out of Plantation. All right, straight out of Compton. Hi, Paris.
Hello. How are you? I don't know if they'll want to grab popcorn for my segment. Dr. Song segment for sure, but not mine.
All right, wait, are we grabbing peanuts, M&Ms maybe for you?
I don't know. No, eggs and tomatoes. You'll probably want to throw them at me or, at the individuals that I'm going to be talking about if we ever get to see them firsthand.
All right. Well, listen, I definitely know that there's been a lot of news. You got me all prepared for a long segment. It's day 152. Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi is on a 3-day trip to China. What do we know about this event?
So a little bit of a background. Ibrahim Raisi is the president of Iran. He came into office in August 2021. This is his first state visit to China. And fun fact, this is the first time in 20 years that any Islamic regime official has been to China. So it's a pretty big deal. I'm going to be reading off of notes here just to make sure I'm getting all the information. I'm just like putting a request in, Iman, for like a teleprompter. I don't know, just putting it out there in your budget. I don't know if it's in there. What was I going to say? So yeah, 6 members of cabinet are with him, including the central bank chief and a top nuclear negotiator. Ministers of economy, petroleum, foreign affairs, trade, agriculture are also part of the delegation as well as urban development. So we know that it's a very serious trip. The main goal of the trip is to finalize the controversial 25-year agreement between China and Iran. There's not enough time in the segment to go through it, but I really highly recommend anyone who's not familiar with this agreement to go read into what the consequences are for Iran. They're saying basically it's a trade agreement to benefit both nations, but it's really not so if you really look into the details. So the agreement was signed in 2021, and basically they've gone there to finalize all the signatures. So according to the Financial Times, President Xi of China has promised to support Iran in nuclear talks and reviving the JCPOA, which is a joint comprehensive plan of action, which is basically going to give a lifeline to the Islamic regime when it comes to the nuclear talks. And President Xi has also said that China supports Iran in safeguarding national sovereignty, resisting unilateralism and bullying. So clearly showing support and backing up the Islamic regime.
Well, I mean, that's what dictator friends do for each other. Let's go to the Jerusalem Post that had a major headline today about Ali Khamenei and an alleged wire transfer. I know it was a big dollar amount.
Yes. So The alleged transfer is supposedly $4 billion. And apparently, allegedly, he made the transfer to his son who's in Venezuela. Now, it's really important to say, I also shared this news on my platform and I shared it with the link. And this reminds you of the importance of really reading the story. And I for some reason, I didn't remind people, read the whole story, not just the headline. So here's the whole story. There's a document that was obtained by the leader of the Ahwazi Liberal Party, which is in Iran. They're an opposer of the Islamic regime. Now, according to them, there was an official request by Khamenei's office to the central bank of Iran to transfer this amount to his son in Venezuela. Now, according to this organization, they were able to obtain the letter. Many are saying the letter is fake, and the Jerusalem Post didn't say that they've verified the source and the accuracy of this letter. The story is only that we have found a letter that supposedly claims that $4 billion was transferred. Now, we're all familiar, there's a lot of corruption in the Islamic regime. This is just the latest news. So when you are sharing the news, just make sure that you're reading behind the headline. So the news is that a letter has been found, but background is the letter has not been verified to confirm that $4 billion was actually transferred.
I think I need to go delete the story that I just shared. So apologies to anybody that may have been.
No, I think it's not that it's a lie. The Jerusalem Post would not put its reputation on the line. It's just really important to read articles and not just headlines. Yeah. Just do that, guys.
Noted. And just in general, I'll just let you do all the news sharing. But yes. There's some news about the Canadian Broadcast Corporation that has put a report out about Iranian-Canadian businessmen working to benefit the Islamic regime. There's 3 wonderful people, I believe, that you're going to talk about.
Yes. Wonderful. This is why I said there's no popcorn for this segment. It's just eggs and tomatoes. So the story is about the U.S. Department of Justice alleging that basically the companies connected to Salim Henare helped Iran purchase $51 million worth of oil tankers for the Islamic regime. And this violates, obviously, American sanctions. So the individuals in questions are Salim Henare, Khalil Henare, and Saeed Torab Abtahi. The accusations against them are of conspiring, I just want to make sure, conspiring with at least 7 other people to evade U.S. sanctions, as well as disguising transactions on the Iranian regime's behalf, valued at more than $750 million. Those are the accusations against these gentlemen. Now, a very senior official in the Canadian police force has says that this appears to be a classic example of Canada being a safe haven. For our viewers who aren't familiar, Canada is known to be a safe haven for members of the IRGC, their extended families, and obviously a lot of history of money laundering in this country. An attorney for the 3 men says that these individuals have absolutely nothing to do with the regime. A date hasn't been set for this case, and the US and Canadian government have not said if an extradition request has been made. Extradition is in the case that since they are now in Canada, it would then mean that the Americans are allowed to ask for these individuals to be returned to America to stand trial.
I'm very curious, as somebody that's actually in Montreal, in Canada, you have much more of a pulse of what's happening in Canada. It's no secret that there's a lot of people from the regime that have congregated in Canada in the last, I don't know how many years. Do you find that these individuals are kind of nervous right now, or
no?
Are they no?
No.
So Canada has not been putting enough pressure on them either.
At all. And there's even more coming. And it's really interesting because Justin Trudeau has says that they are, being a lot more stringent. But interestingly enough, individuals who work at the airport, like in Toronto, at Pearson Airport in Toronto, have secretly filmed individuals coming in who are obviously part of the regime and saying, what are you doing here? And there are individuals who, unfortunately, they have to act like vigilantes and find out, these are master researchers and master investigators, because they're literally at the airport waiting for these individuals to arrive, and they approach them as they arrive saying, what are you doing here? And how did you get in, considering your crimes? So, it's just another case of politicians saying they're doing one thing, but on the ground, we're seeing that that's not the case. And Canada continues to be a safe haven for these individuals, unfortunately.
Lots of lip service. All right, well, let's, I guess we're changing gears for a little bit of a cultural note before we move on to getting an update on unlawfully detained Hambatans, Iranians. So what's that all about?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Valentine's Day for just a second. It's really important to talk about our culture as well. Especially for those of us who've grown up outside of Iran in Western countries where Valentine's Day is a huge deal. For years, we've just known it to be like Cupid's Day and Love Day. And, we're told that the history is Saint Valentine's. But I actually shared this with you earlier this week. It's not. Iranians have been celebrating a day celebrating essentially love, friendship, earth, and women for 2,500 years. It is called Sepandar Mazgan. We've been celebrating this holiday on February 18th, like I said, for over 2,000 years, you guys. So our history of celebrating love dates way, way, way past St. Valentine's Day. And I was reading about one of the traditions, and one of the sources says that basically it's a celebration of women and earth, as well as, love and friendship. And they said that historically, women and girls sat on thrones, and men and boys had to obey them and bring them presents and gifts, and that men were reminded to claim and respect women on that day. So this is what I say to our Iranian compatriots: no matter where you are, go to your nearest throne, wherever it is, make sure you're taking it out and bringing all the lovely women in your lives and putting them on that throne. So go get your throne, Iman Jun.
I'm working on it. But the name, it couldn't have been any shorter. Sepandar Mazga. I can't even pronounce it.
It's old Persian. We gotta revive it. Sepandar Mazgan.
I'm not surprised that Iranians at their roots have once again shown love and kindness and putting women on the throne that they deserve to be on. So that's Saturday, February 18th. Is that what it is?
Yes, sir. So if you listen, for whoever didn't get Valentine's Day right, it doesn't matter if you're Iranian or not. Saturday is your chance at redemption. Go for it.
Yeah, exactly. And like, if for whatever reason you thought it was a good idea not to get flowers for your lady, please don't mess it up again for the second time. So this Saturday, February 18th, go celebrate Sepandar Mazgan. I mean, I'll give up on my Persian. All right. What are some updates that we have about the detainees?
Yes. So do you remember Dr. Hamid Hassanlu and his wife, Farzana? Exactly. So they attended a funeral, and there was a Basij who was killed at that funeral. And they essentially mass arrested individuals who were at the funeral and accused them of being complicit in the murder of this Basij. Now, these are completely unfounded. Dr. Hassanlu was sentenced to death by hanging. His wife was sentenced to 25 years of solitary confinement. Amazingly, he was able to get his sentence overturned, but there's an image of him that was released from the hospital. So during his arrest and after his arrest, he was severely beaten, and he's not doing well. You can see that it's before and after, like before and current, he's not okay, and he's obviously suffered greatly. So we are definitely wanting to highlight him and using the hashtag Save Dr. Hamid. So please be mindful of that and share his story. And the other one is Mina Yaqubi. She is another detainee who was released. I don't know, again, we often don't know these individuals' names or their full stories, but you'll maybe remember she was released late at night. She was wearing white. Her face was really swollen, and she had a black eye. So again, look up Mina Yaqubi. So even though she was released, she did get her sentence. She has gotten a sentence of 85 lashes, 11 years in prison, 124 hours of grave washing, and 2 years of exile from her home.
Thank you for that update. I wish it was more good news, but it's lacking that part of it. I actually saw the picture of Dr. Hamid, and even on his hospital bed, he's even handcuffed too. Like, it was just looking at the picture, like it even crushed me even more. But hopefully he'll be able to get the treatment that he needs, and most importantly, released. What are the action items this week, Parishan, and what are the hashtags that we're following that we should be using?
IRCG terrorists we're gonna continue using that hashtag until the IRGC are listed by every country, mainly the G7 and G20 nations, and recognized as a terrorist organization that they are. I do want to highlight Fatemeh Sepehri. She is a 59-year-old political activist. You may recognize her from the image I'm going to paint. She's always in a black chador. She's an extremely conservative Muslim woman. She's a Muslim Iranian woman, but she has very secular views. She was detained in Melat Park. She obviously has suffered torture, but again, at 59 years old, still being an activist is incredible. So please don't forget her. Fatemeh Sepehri. There's also Fahimeh Karimi. She is the mother of three. She's a volleyball coach, and she was detained. She's accused of supposedly killing a Basij. As we know, these flagrant charges with absolutely no proof. She's also, it is, according to some sources, she has been sentenced to death. So please don't forget her, hashtag Fahimeh Karimi. Obviously, save Dr. Hamid, which we just mentioned. And as always, too much Salehi, Saman Yassin, and obviously the mainstays, Mahsa Amini, Iran Revolution.
I think it's time for the final message, Parishon.
Our language is called Persian when we're speaking in English, not Farsi.
You gonna do the Farsi version too?
زبون ما به انگلیسی هست Persian و وقتی به فارسی حرف میزنیم هست فارسی.
I'm telling you're gonna say the Farsi version. Even as you're telling me this, I still screw it up. Persian, gosh darn it.
It's خودمونی. It's خودمونی. بین خودمون, we always say Farsi, so it's normal. But in the English language, our language is called Persian.
I know. Parishon, I want to take a moment and just thank you for doing these segments. I know how gut-wrenching it can be to constantly go through all this news, and Tazeh, you filter it, which means that whatever that you're sharing right now with everybody is like 100th of what you're actually consuming your day with, and not too many people really know how much time that you spend to dig all this information. So for a multitude of reasons, on behalf of everyone that watches, we greatly appreciate you going through the rigors of finding out this information. So much love and thank you.
Thank you. But like you said at the beginning of the show, it literally takes the village. We are surrounded by incredible people. And honestly, everyone on the team is just all hands on deck all the time. So it's just inspiring for the rest of us to make sure we're at the top of our game. So it's a pleasure and a privilege. Thank you for having me, and thank you for trusting me with this segment.
Of course. No, you're the most trusted person that I have access to on earth. So thank you for everything. See you next Wednesday. Appreciate you. In just a few moments, we're going to have Dr. Sam, the stress doc, coming on. After that, it'll be Sareh Kazemi giving us a Uniters update, and we're going to be ending the program with Azadeh Afsahi. So if you're just tuning in, don't forget to stick around. She'll be coming around 8:35 or so. Bye, Parishon. Take care. All right. And now it's time to welcome the stress doctor, my favorite chiropractor, Dr. Sam Rassoul. Oh man, I got fat fingers and I still can't press it. Okay, here we go. Please help me welcome Dr. Sam. There he is. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's up, my brother? Good. I'm still my work
clothes. You look great, and I appreciate you making time on short notice tonight. We have a little switcheroo in the schedule, and you stepped up to the plate as always. What's this text neck that I'm pretty sure I'm suffering from?
Well, we hear it all the time. It's become such a catchphrase. Put it in neon lights, put it all around. Iman John, people are like, watch out for text neck, and you're geared. But you see it time and time again, and as a chiropractic physician, I cringe every time I see it. Now, you're going to laugh because I'm using my iPhone right now to do our IG Live. I happen to find my old iPhone, the iPhone, how tiny this thing is. So just to show you, and what makes me cringe is when I see people texting like this. They're literally bending down completely, or they're doing this in their chair, whether they're traveling. It's so comfortable, Iman John. Yes, but comfortable now.
I know. I'm actually at later already, but yes,
all the stuff that happens. Yeah. It's something that it's so detrimental to us. So regardless if you're eating right and exercising and everything else, people, they call these things smartphones, but they're making us dumber in regards to our health and wellness.
I appreciate that daily dose of health update. Everything else going okay on your end?
Yeah. Everything else has been great, man. It's been great, but like, I mean, and like I said, like it's basically what our viewers can do. And I'm hoping that people are, you know, using their phones more, obviously, with everything you guys have been doing, Unite and Conquer, everything that, you know, we're seeing constantly people in the limelight for the movement and the revolution in Iran stepping up. But when you're using your smartphone, I advocate it all the time in my office. Stop doing this because you're actually going against the natural curve in your neck. You're pushing the disc back. You're actually creating more of a sense. People talk about disc herniations and, oh, I was in a car accident or I had a fall. But many times it's not one specific incident. It could be the progression and chronicity where chronic things are doing like this. So whether you're sitting on your couch, sitting in a car, a plane, or they just say sitting on the toilet, some people are doing this, and I'm like, you know, it's counteracting all the good things you're doing. So I always tell everybody, really kind of like put your head up. You don't have to be way up here with your phone, but at least a little bit below eye level, and put it away from your body so it's not close by. You keep that good posture, pulling your shoulders back, and just be in that kind of position. That's going to save your neck today and tomorrow. And it's something that's going to really help people, because I tell people all the time, as long as people are doing this, I'm going to have a job forever. And I don't want to see people. I want to, you know, I don't want to see people forever. I want people to live a healthier lifestyle so they're less reliant on
well, we appreciate
interventions
this
from healthcare
tip about
practitioners.
text neck, but I do need to make a recommendation for you. Stop looking at people in the toilet and how they are on the phone in the toilet, okay? So I just wanted to let you know. It's a little creepy to be looking through the cracks of a bathroom, okay? All right, so
crack open the door to be like, hey, what are you doing? You sitting right? Okay, good.
Love you, man. Thank you so much for being a part of tonight's episode. Appreciate you. Shapush, and enjoy your birthday trip. Take care.
I will.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Follow Dr. Sam for more tips and tricks on health, buddy. Let's go. All right. Up next, we have Sareh Kazemi, one of our most active, amazing, and wonderful uniters. She just co-led the last rally that we did last weekend with Mona Haili. How are you, Sarah June? Wonderful to see you. You got the Vidal Sassoon hair flowing again. It's great stuff. Appreciate it.
Ellie won't disown me.
She won't disown me. Sarah, let's jump right to it. I want to stay on schedule. So what's the latest and greatest on your end?
Sure. Well, we have two action items that our action group of uniters is currently processing. On February 20th, as you know, there is a major campaign being held in Brussels, again, to put pressure on the European Parliament to list the IRGC on the terrorist list. And there's currently an email campaign that we want to definitely participate in. So we're thinking through the logistics of what that will be and how we're going to roll it out. But that's going to be on February 20th, a virtual campaign where we'll need everybody's support. And then on the 27th, as you know, the foreign minister of the Islamic Republic is addressing the opening of the United Nations Human Rights Council. And what we're asking and what's being asked by Hillel Nuyar and others is that all countries essentially get up and walk out during his time. And so we want to see how we can bring more awareness to that. Again, two virtual events that are coming up that the uniters in the action group are working on. So that's February 20th and February 27th. And then, of course, working with uniters, trying to organize to see what other programming we have coming up in the.
Are you going to talk a little bit about what exactly is being a uniter and volunteer opportunities?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So, you know, the mission of Unite and Conquer is essentially to unite all Iranians through events, digital contents, and impactful conversations. We have impactful conversations through Countdown and other venues that you've seen us do. We've put on certainly rallies and events, and social media. We've been very active with digital content there and on YouTube. But there's always a need, especially in this short-term fight to free Iran, to continue to ideate, to continue to co-create. And as a uniter, you play a very active role in that. You know, I've been very pleased to see that as a uniter, I really get what I put into it. Any effort that I put into it, any initiative that I put into it, I really get back in return the ability to lead, the ability to ideate, the ability to make impact in any way, shape, or form. And that's really what the role of a uniter is. It's the heart of Unite and Conquer. Thanks to you, Iman, you really are an advocate for empowering anyone who has an idea. Iman has a really open-minded approach to, innovation and creativity. And as a uniter, we all have a say. If you're, focused on uniting Iranians and in this short-term fight, freeing Iran, you have a say. And if your intent is to be committed and put in the time and really take ownership, there's so much to be gained from it. And there's so much ideation that can happen. So, the fastest way that I can summarize the role of a uniter is you're the heart of Unite and Conquer. And if you really are committed, you can ideate, you can co-create, you can really lead to some impactful events, again, through events, digital content, and impactful conversations.
Getting me all emotional, Sareh. This is great. I love it. No, but this is truly awesome. Like I really do encourage everybody to kind of become a leader. There's a leader inside of everybody, And right now we're just so passionate about, bringing freedom to Iran. And there's so many people that want to go out and get on the field and do something, and they don't realize that at Unite and Conquer we have a field, and you can get on. Like there's no such thing as fifth string quarterback. Is that you can immediately get on the field and tell us what it is that you're passionate about, what you have experience in, what you want to lead. And you just said it perfectly. So thank you for sharing that and just reminding people that this is a home for anybody that wants to help fight this regime. And we'll figure out a way to make you a leader and make it more of an impactful experience for anybody that wants. So thank you so much for everything you do. As always, Sareh. Till next week. All right. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce our special guest for tonight. I got to know her during the revolution and just seeing the incredible content that she's been putting out. She's a licensed marriage and family therapist and a PhD candidate with published work in the collaborative book, What They Didn't Teach at the Academy, Topic Stories and Reality Beyond the Classroom. She was featured in Modern Healthcare in 2017 for her work with survivors of the Las Vegas mass shooting. Currently, she's been helping the victims in Iran and hosting support groups for Iranians in the diaspora, including the spearheading of the hashtag #FreeTooMuch campaign, which is demanding the release of the popular rapper Toomuch Salehi. It is my distinguished pleasure to welcome the Shirzan onto the Countdown to Freedom in Iran episode. Please help me welcome Azadeh Afsahi. I know she's got a lot of people that love and appreciate what she's doing, as do I. So please help me welcome Azadeh. Hi, Azadeh.
Hi,
so great to virtually meet you. I wish it was under better circumstances, but I've been following your content. I'm so proud of everything you've been doing and just grateful for this opportunity to have a chat with you now.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for everything you're doing. You're really uniting our community, and I love it. And I love every Wednesday I'm tuned in. And the fact that you kind of wrap up everything for us, because we are overwhelmed with so much information.
Thank you so much. And I love the mural that you have behind. We're gonna get to, of course, what you're doing for Toomuch, which is incredible. But can we just kind of, I want people who may not be familiar with you to get to know you a little better. What inspired you to use your platform to support this revolution?
Iman John, I think ever since I moved to the United States, I grew up in Sweden. I have always had a passion helping. I have been to Africa, India. I've helped so much in my own community here in LA. But when I heard that Iran is like what's happening in Iran, I was like, I dropped everything. And this is kind of my #1 priority because I'm Persian and I'm bleeding for my people. So there was no doubt that I was going to be involved.
At what point did you figure that, okay, this is what I can bring to the table? Because this is what I love, having spoken to so many different people from different backgrounds. You come from a psychotherapist background. At what point did you say, you know what, this is what I want to bring to the table? And how do you feel, or how do you hope that your content will impact your audience?
I think when I started, I think the pivotal moment was the Sharif University, when so many people from Iran started contacting me, so many families that they really needed help and they didn't know how to deal with their youth. And that's where I was like, okay, there's something I can do. This is like, I can provide guidance. I can provide tools for them, because I don't know what the mental health status in Iran is. I don't know if they have access to it or not. And then also I see around, I look around how much we need here, how much we are so burned out. It's called compassion fatigue. Well, every day we see what's going on in Iran is affecting us mentally, physically, emotionally. So I was like, I have to do something to kind of give back to my community.
So one of the things that you guys did recently, and I was chatting with Yossi Aker. She's going to be our guest on March 1st, actually. She was excited to see you on tonight's episode. You know, you guys did like a healing event, a music and healing event. Can you share a little bit more about that event that I believe was in Los Angeles a couple weeks ago?
Yes, yes, he's a good friend of mine, and this is what happens with Revolution. You meet such amazing people, and you connect, and that's how we connected. This was our second healing event, and we just provide an environment for people to come, meditate, listen to music, listen to me, providing some tools in regards to trauma, and really connect the people, because we need to start healing. I mean, it is a lot that is going on. Again, we are bombarded with so much trauma on a daily basis. So sometimes it's great to be able to have a break, to connect with our community, and to do some internal work. And that's what
I keep on telling everybody that one of the great things about the Uniters that we built here in South Florida, we need this. This is not just we needed to fight, we needed to survive and be able to continue have the energy because of the compassion fatigue that you mentioned. We lift each other up. We're each other's gas hose, you know. Hey, as soon as somebody's gas tank is kind of lowering, we fill each other up. We figure out how to get together, you know, and have dinner together. And just, these are so important things that we're doing. So I'm glad that event was a success. And maybe we'll figure out having you and Yossi down in Miami, and we'll do an event, and you can bless our South Florida community with all the amazing things that you guys are doing to heal our people. So
absolutely.
So tell us about the initiative that you've been working on, and then it ties into the practical work that you do as well. So tell us about the Free Too Much campaign, and take it from there.
I think I wasn't familiar with too much. I wasn't so familiar with, you know, with the artist that is inside Iran. I was 6 when I left Iran, so I wasn't unfortunately so familiar with too much. But when I heard that obviously this is, I think, his 3rd time being arrested, and the fact that he had the opportunity to leave Iran a few years back, and he said, no, this is my country. If anybody, the mullahs have to leave. That spoke to me. I'm like, no, I have to fight for this guy. I have to make sure that he deserve the same attention that everybody else. But unfortunately, tomorrow is 110 days. He's been in solitary confinement, 110 days. And I am so worried about his psychological and mental health when he comes out. So I did what anybody do. I contacted his family. I contacted everybody, his political sponsors, like, what can I do? And they said, just spread the word, just talk about him as much as you can. So, and I think it was great. It was a momentum that everybody was talking about it. He was featured on CNN by Nazanin Noor, and a lot of artists are talking about him. So I'm very happy. I'm just waiting for that day that they tell us.
I think you actually said something about a month and a half ago. You called out, not in a bad way, but you called out the Iranian entertainers, you know, and then like as somebody who's been in entertainment for 25 years in the Iranian community, I was like, Iman, what are you doing? Like, you need to really get all the other Iranian entertainers. We have a responsibility here that one of our brothers in our industry is in this situation. Did you get the response that you were hoping from the Iranian entertainers?
Unfortunately, I have to be honest, no. Unfortunately, I haven't. And that's what is so sad, is that there is one of us, like you say, that it's inside, and we know how brutal this regime can be, you know. So, and I feel like we need more attention. I'm grateful for what we have so far. I don't want to discourage anybody, but God, we need more attention on him. And I want to be able to, I went to the Grammys hoping that American media would pick that up, but unfortunately I didn't have any luck yet.
First of all,
but I'm not discouraged.
I appreciate you being honest about it, because I fully agree with you. I feel like so many big Iranian artists, this could have been their opportunity to just do this, you know, like every single Iranian A-list entertainer should have, like, I'm not just talking about singers, I'm talking about musicians and, you know, actors. I mean, this was really their opportunity to come together, and some did a great job. But if we are to be honest, there were still a lot of people that chose to be on the sideline. And I hope that they still understand that it's not too late. You know, you can go ahead and now use your voice and continue this movement. So since you meant, yeah.
Absolutely. And I want to actually say there's one person who has been a backbone of Tumash as much as I think I have, and everybody else that is fighting for him. And it's been Erfan the rapper. I don't know. He has also been fighting, and he's so grateful to see that he is supporting his fellow artists the way he does. And I, like you say, I wish more artists would step forward and talk about him, because we have great artists that have huge platforms, Iman Jan. And if you can move one person and that person can move another, we can really make this go
Erfan
viral.
did a great job. And then also, oh my God, I just lost my train of thought of one other person that was doing, I forget, I lost my train of thought. But I think we need to reignite the artists and get them more involved, and hopefully this conversation will get them to do that point. You mentioned Grammys. Why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about that experience, talking about Iranian entertainer. Obviously, Shervin won the Grammy for Best Song for Social Change. You know, tell us about the experience of being there.
I think I wanted to be there for two things. One, because it's history. Obviously, it's not every day that Iranian artists in Iran get a Grammy. And also, I brought this one with me to the Grammys, and I wanted to bring attention to Tumash because I thought this is a great place. He's an artist, and tonight they're celebrating all the art. So it was a very emotional, I have to say, Iman Jan. When I was recording, my hand was shaking as they were announcing Shervin, and I'm forever grateful for that moment. But I can't wait to have the same moment happen when we hear that Iran is free and we can all go back and rebuild. And that's the question I always get. It kind of irritates me at times. It's like, so what are you going to do when Iran is free? Well, I'm going to go and I'm going to rebuild it. I'm going to help. Whatever I do here, I'm going to do it over there. I'm going to set up mental health clinics, and I'm going to teach people how you can do to take care of people. That's what we all are going to do. So we're not going to sit around and just say, okay, thank you, now you're free. We're going to go back. And
I mean, that rebuilding
Iran.
is in it by itself a lifelong labor of love that we'd be more than honored to do, to whatever it takes. So tell us, you know, in the next couple of minutes that we have together, what's next? What can we do to support your mission even more so that you can continue to make bigger impact, which will help our people? Let's end it on that.
Okay, so two initiatives. One is obviously, please be the voice of Tumash. We won't stop until he's free, and anybody else for that matter that is in prison. And also the second is that what I am trying to do right now is to kind of take an educational approach of teaching the people in Iran how to talk to people who are being released from prison. Sometimes in our culture doesn't allow us for really have therapeutic talks, to really listen, to really allow people that space they need. I have a lot of people that I speak with that are been released from prison. And Iman Jan, you know our culture, when somebody is released from prison, there is a bus full of people waiting to go greet them, or they're at home and they want to celebrate them. And these are the small steps that I'm trying to talk with these families, and I'm actually creating small videos for them, how you can talk, how you can allow them to express themselves, what questions you can ask, how can you in a gentle way allow these people to come back and try to regain their life back, because what they are enduring in this prison or whatever torture that they're doing is unimaginable to us. So we really need to, they're fragile. They're like a little crystal ball, has so many cracks in them. And now we need to be very careful so it doesn't crack
no
again.
doubt that you're nothing short of an angel for these individuals that are coming out of these traumatic circumstances. So truly kudos to you for what you're doing. I know you have a lot of group therapy sessions that you're doing. I know you're helping with the Omid project that you know, Shahla and Army from the Uniters are doing, but you also have your safe space on Wednesday evenings. Do you want to tell our viewers about that as well?
that is for all the Iranians here inside, and I put it out there, and you know, sometimes groups take its own life. So now we have a group here in the United States. Obviously, is you, whomever watching this, you're welcome to join. But I think because of the time frame, it's sometimes hard for people from Iran, obvious internet connection. So we meet on Wednesdays between 6 to 8,
6 to 8
and
PST,
it's
right?
a great space for everybody. Yes, because not a lot of people are connected with the Persian community, and this space bring them all together, and we have a little family that we share whatever happened during the week. As you know, every day something new happens. Every day something new traumatic happens. So it's a great platform for people to come and share and bond and start the healing process. So if you are available, please join. It's a great space, and we all need to be able to debrief and connect with each other.
Anything else that I missed, or did we cover all the amazing things that you've been working on?
Oh, thank you. No, the fact that you have created this platform, I'm so grateful, and I can't wait. The countdown, every time I'm like, countdown to free Iran. Yeah. It feels so good. And no, this is it. It's just that we need to really unite. We need to really uplift each other, because no one else will. We have each
the
other
unfortunate thing is the last few months have shown that this is our fight and our fight only, you know. So the end result will be, you know, and that's why we need many people involved with that time and continue to unify and strengthen. But can you hear me now? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Hello.
You keep coming in and out.
Wait for a second, see if we reconnect. Can you hold on?
Okay.
Hello.
No. Hi.
All right.
I can hear you, but you.
Sorry.
Okay, now we're back.
Yeah. Sorry for the.
Back.
I don't know if that was me. I apologize. Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of close on the fact that what you all are doing as therapists, and especially you being so active. I just want you to know that the entire community globally genuinely appreciates what you're doing. You know, I mean, you're putting your own mental health at major risk to be able to consume this much trauma and sadness and pain. So if there's a way that I can transfer the love and gratitude of 80 million compatriots to you and other therapists that are doing so much, I want to send it to you right now. Thank you so much for everything. I know everyone here who's watching feels the same way. I see how much love has already been sent to you, the most amount of love that any of our guests have had so far, because we know what you're going through to do this. So please continue to, first of all, take care of yourself, and know that the entire Unite and Conquer family of Uniters push you to the rim, and we're here anytime for anything that you need. You say that you need something, and the Uniters are here next to you and doing whatever we can.
Oh, thank you. Now you're making me cry. So thank you. Thank you so much. Merci, Manjan. Thank you so much. And everybody, please know that Wednesdays, if you want to tune in, if not, just take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I love you.
Looking forward to staying in touch and doing whatever we can to bring down this regime and bring freedom to our people.
Sure.
Bye-bye. All right. Much love and thanks to Azadeh for joining us. Much love to all the friends and followers of Azadeh who joined in on this conversation. It's a pleasure to have had you. In case you're not familiar with Countdown or myself, my name is Iman Hushman. This is Countdown to Freedom in Iran. It's a weekly English-speaking live stream series that happens every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And we are fully dedicated to essentially talk about what's happening in Iran, sharing news and updates, bringing awareness about any type of action items and how you can get involved and make an impact. We also try to do some things about mental health and wellness, personal development. You know, this is a war, and because we're in a war, we have to be at the optimal state of mind, body, and health and soul. So the Uniter producers that are making this program happen, we are truly, truly committed to making this program the most beneficial and impactful that it can be for you watching, so that you can then help us do what we can do to make this revolution a resolution, which is freedom for our people. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to follow at Let's Unite and Conquer. Feel free to follow me, and make sure you follow Paris Mansouri, who did the news and updates. For Life, A Woman in Freedom, with Sareh Kazemi. Dr. Sam, if he's still here, drop your comments. And yeah, Ba'omida Azadi. Shabbaton Mecher. Ba'omidi Dar. Next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Same bad time, same bad channel. If you're old enough, you get that joke. Go over to Shaposh. Bye.